You found what?
I can't identify it, but then I'm not a plant expert.
Did you have Rusty and Thorn look at it?
Yeah. Rusty says there's no sign of disease, and Thorn, he's just as stumped as I am. He says it's some kind of pollen, but definitely not native to Nebraska.
If so, then it means that Derek was...
Derek wasn't actually killed on the field. His body must have been moved from somewhere else. I'm no palynologist, but I'm sure that pollen is going to tell us a lot.
Well, based on Charlotte's analysis of the insect larva found in the body, the post-mortem interval is about 10 hours, which means he was killed about 4 hours after the game. He certainly wasn't killed in Zimbabwe, and his body moved here within a span of a few hours.
Right. So the pollen has to be growing from a plant in a remote spot that we never thought possible, or else it's being grown for a specific reason in a controlled environment.
You need to find that plant. Check botanical gardens, experimental labs, anything like that.
You got it.
Hey, did you find anything else?
Not really. Everything we found was just routine. The blood saturated on the bat belongs to the victim. There's really no good fingerprints. This is by far our best lead.
All right. Keep me informed.
Herbie Johnson?
Yeah, that's me. Can I help you?
Trace Mercury. UNL Big Red Green Team. We're investigating the death of Derek Flyball.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Rough.
We heard you tried out for the Husker baseball team. Did you know him?
No, not really. He beat me out, end of story.
So when you didn't make the team?
I just moved on. Tried not to think about it.
I'm sorry, but you realize we have to ask questions of anyone even remotely associated with the victim. Where were you the night of the murder?
I was here at work. Just listened to the game while doing some watering and cutting. Then went home. Not very exciting, I'm afraid.
Did you hear of anyone acting strangely at or after the game?
No. Although I do know all of Derek's teammates weren't as happy about his success as he was. It's been all over the daily Nebraskan.
Is there anything else you can tell me?
Only other thing was a scout from a rival university came by here yesterday to talk to me. It was after the game and shortly before I went to go home. He did his homework and knew I didn't make the team. Talk about making me feel worse. Anyway, he said he was here to recruit Derek for his team and that if I could help convince Derek to take him up on the offer, I'd be a shoo-in for the replacement position.
So what did you say?
I told him no way. I want to get there on my own. Besides, I have no reason to help Derek advance his career.
What was the scout's name?
Nick Shady, I think. Real smooth customer. Has to be for that kind of job, I guess. I didn't like his attitude though, I know that. Real pushy. He even gave me his card.
We'll check into it. Well, I think that's about all I have for now. This place is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, this is the experimental greenhouse. We're testing to see what plants might survive here in Nebraska given certain conditions. We're testing water, light, pollination techniques, the whole enchilada. We have a lot of horticulturists overseeing the project. It's been pretty cool.
So you work here part-time?
Yeah, as a student worker. I'm a biochem major now, but I'm really thinking of switching to horticulture. Hey, I mean, even Tommy Lee took a horticulture class.
My colleagues would love to hear you say that. So it looks like you have some really unusual stuff here then. Can you tell me what some of it is? I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
That's the African primrose. It's pretty rare. Well, rare for here anyway. We have a wide assortment from all over the world. This plant's from Australia. This one's from the deep rainforest of South America. They all have unique methods of reproduction, growth habits, and the like.
I see. Well, thanks for your time.
Hey man, no problem.
I'll let you get back to work. Oh, who runs this greenhouse?
Dr. Benita Rose, she's here on the East Campus.
Thanks a lot.
Exotic plants?
That's right. He said there's several species from around the world in that greenhouse, and they are using them for experimental research.
I think we need to find out what's in that greenhouse. Check with Thorn on the pollen that he's working on, and I'll speak with Dr. Rose.
Sure. Any word from Lieutenant Russ?
No new leads yet. He spoke with the entire baseball team, and they're pretty shaken up, but they all can vouch for each other.
Well, Russ has his work cut out for him, and we have our own theories. Russ should probably interview this Nick Shady that Herbie mentioned too. Here's his card with his name and his phone number. Although, I fail to see how he could benefit from the murder. He wanted Derek alive and well so Derek could play on his university's team.
Well, people murder for all kinds of reasons. I'll have Russ talk to him, and then I'll get back to you. Dr. Rose, I hear you're doing research on campus.
Yes, I am. I'm a plant pathologist and palynologist. We study pollen and help species cope and recover from disease.
Interesting work. Where exactly do you do your research?
Oh, I have a lab here on East Campus, and I oversee several greenhouses. That's where we grow the plants because the controlled environment of the greenhouse allows us to reproduce species year-round that normally would come just from tropical environments.
I hear you have a grad student working for you by the name of Herbie Johnson.
Yes, he's a good kid. He's a big fan of sports, but he should probably stick to academics.
Really? What makes you say that?
Well, he's a smart kid. He's studying the biochemistry of plants. He's great to work with, and I'm sure he's a great ball player, but to be frank, I think he's better at science.
Interesting. What else can you tell me about him?
Well, he's great to work with, as I mentioned. He's always on time, never late for work. He was a little depressed after he didn't make the Husker baseball team, but other than that, I think he's pretty stable.
Do you or Herbie know Derek Flyball personally?
Well, Herbie knew him mainly as competition, I think. Other than that, he never said anything one way or the other about Derek to me. Personally, I didn't have him in any classes, and I don't even really know what he was majoring in.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Rose. What is this? Well, I've never seen anything like this.
Oh, that is a pollen grain from the Husker rose plant, highly magnified, of course. It's my own cross between a Nebraska native species and one that I discovered in South Africa.
Incredible. I didn't know pollen would look like this.
Well, it doesn't always, Miss Green, but the great thing about pollen is it's very specific to the plant from whence it came, so it makes it great for us to be able to pinpoint the viability and the best place for a plant to thrive.
Or give us clues about a murder scene. Dr. Rose, do you keep files on the pollen from all your plants here in the greenhouse?
Oh, of course, they're all on file.
Could I get a copy of these files?
I could email photos to you.
That would be great. I'm on a deadline. In fact, I only have 5 minutes left in this episode, and people expect this case to be wrapped up.
I'll look into it right away then.
Thank you very much for your time, Dr. Rose.
You know, I hope this isn't going to take too long. I do have a plane to catch.
You no doubt have heard of the murder of Derek Flyball, the Husker baseball player.
Heard of it? Hell, I'm floored. I came here to recruit the kid, and now he's dead. It's not exactly what I want to go home and tell my bosses.
Besides, he had one of the strongest motives of anyone. See, killing him may have given him another chance to get on the team.
But that isn't true. Yeah, I was mad that I didn't make the team, but I wouldn't kill over it.
This very pollen gave you away, Herbie.